Pythagoras, one of the ancient Greek celebrities in the history of mathematics, philosophy, and science, was born around 570 BC in the Greek island Samos. When he was young, he traveled to Egypt and Babylonia, pursuing knowledge. He deeply learned and understood mathematics, geometry, and astronomy from well-known scholars of that time. Unfortunately, Pythagoras left no written work. It was his students and followers who documented his ideas and contributions. Around 530 BC, he traveled to Croton in southern Italy and established the Pythagorean school, known for its exclusivity and secrecy. To be accepted, they had to undergo a strict selection process and has to be silent about the school's teachings. These members of the school were called the Pythagoreans. Subjects of study were mathematics, philosophy, ethics, and spirituality. Pythagoras' school had a strong influence on later philosophical schools like Plato's Academy. After Pythagoras' death, the school continued for some time, but eventually declined due to internal conflicts and external pressures. The school's principles influenced Plato and Aristotle and contributed to the development of mathematics and Western rational philosophy. Pythagoras' most famous achievement is the Pythagorean theorem in geometry. In a right-angled triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. This theorem is still taught in every classroom around the world. Pythagoras is famous for discovering the mathematical foundations of musical harmony. He observed that when a string is plucked, the pitch produced depends on the length of the string. He discovered that simple ratios of string lengths created harmonious musical intervals, establishing the basis for musical scales. According to legend, Pythagoras was passing by a blacksmith's workshop when he heard the rhythmic sounds of hammer strikes on metal. Intrigued by the clanging of the hammers, Pythagoras noticed that different hammers produced varying musical tones when struck against the anvils. Pythagoras believed that numbers have harmony and linked it to his philosophical ideas. He also believed that numbers have mystical importance in the universe. He was the one to introduce numerology, believing that all things are connected and work in harmony and balance in our life. Pythagoras supported the idea of reincarnation. It played a major role in his spiritual teachings. He believed that the human soul is eternal and goes like a cycle from body to other between death and rebirth. The soul's journey was influenced by one's behavior and actions in previous lives. If an individual followed the ethical principles of the Pythagorean way of life, their soul could progress and ascend towards a higher state of existence in following incarnations. Through purification of the soul in each lifetime, they could reach ultimate enlightenment and liberation from the cycle of rebirth. Pythagoras left Croton and fled to Metapontum, where he died around 490 BC. It is not clear whether he was killed or died from natural causes. Pythagoras was without a doubt one of the superstars of ancient history, leaving a legacy that was used in shaping Western philosophy and mathematics. His name remains familiar to every person who has ever lived on this earth.